Gentlemen, if your body doesn't respond the way it once did, if erections feel weaker, less predictable, or missing altogether, if your energy runs out long before your motivation does, and if intimacy has quietly slipped away, not because the desire is gone, but because your body no longer seems to cooperate, then I want you to pause for a moment, because this is where many men make the wrong assumption. Stop blaming age. For a large number of men, what you're experiencing isn't just getting older, it's a deficiency. And in most cases, it's far more fixable than you've been led to believe. I'm Dr. Aria Brooks, a urologist and intimacy coach, and for more than 12 years, I've helped men over 60 restore circulation, energy, confidence, and sexual function in ways that are natural, safe, and sustainable. Today, I want to walk you through 3 critical vitamins your body quietly depends on for healthy blood flow, responsive testosterone signaling, and steady energy. When these nutrients run low, the body doesn't collapse overnight. It withdraws slowly, and most men don't realize what's happening until fatigue feels normal and intimacy fades into the background. Before we continue, take a quick second for me. If this message already feels familiar, tap like and subscribe, and tell me in the comments your age and where you're watching from. It helps remind you that you're not alone in this. Here's something most men are never told in a doctor's office. Older men don't usually lose desire. They lose circulation. They lose cellular energy, and hormonal support becomes less responsive. The interest is still there, but the wiring weakens. Blood doesn't move as freely. Cells don't produce energy as efficiently, and testosterone signals don't land the way they used to. When those systems slow down, erections weaken, stamina drops, and confidence erodes quietly. Medication doesn't rebuild those systems. Nutrition does. Let's start with the most overlooked foundation of male vitality. Vitamin D is often dismissed as a bone vitamin. For men over 60, that misunderstanding can be costly. Vitamin D functions more like a hormone than a simple nutrient, and one of its most important roles is how well your blood vessels relax, expand, and deliver oxygen-rich blood. That matters everywhere, but it matters most where erections are concerned. Low vitamin D levels are strongly associated with reduced nitric oxide production, poor endothelial function, stiffer blood vessels, weakened circulation, and lower testosterone responsiveness. Here's the part that surprises most men. More than 40% of men over 60 are deficient, often severely, not because they eat poorly, but because aging skin produces less vitamin D, and modern indoor lifestyles limit sunlight exposure. I once worked with a man in his late 60s, active, thoughtful, emotionally connected, but deeply frustrated. He told me, "I still want my wife. My body just doesn't respond." His vitamin D levels were critically low. Once those levels were corrected, circulation improved first, energy followed, and confidence returned. That wasn't luck, that was physiology. Without adequate vitamin D, blood simply cannot flow efficiently. Now let's slow this down for a moment and talk about how vitamin D actually supports erections, because this is where many men finally connect the dots. Vitamin D plays a direct role in nitric oxide signaling. Nitric oxide is the molecule that tells blood vessels when to relax and widen. Without that signal, arteries stay tighter than they should, and blood simply cannot move freely. When vitamin D levels are low, blood vessels become less responsive. They don't expand efficiently. They don't deliver oxygen-rich blood as easily. And erections, which depend entirely on that flow, become weaker and less reliable. This isn't a willpower issue, it's a signaling issue. Vitamin D also supports testosterone synthesis, not by forcing levels higher, but by helping your body respond properly to the testosterone it already produces. Think of it like this: testosterone is the message. Vitamin D helps the body actually hear it. Without adequate vitamin D, the message gets quieter. So how do you restore it? The most natural source is sunlight. 15 to 20 minutes of morning or midday sun, when possible, allows your skin to produce vitamin D naturally. But for many men over 60, that's not always reliable. Skin produces less vitamin D with age, and modern lifestyles keep us indoors far more than we realize. Diet can help. Fatty fish like salmon and sardines, egg yolks, fortified dairy products. But for many men, food alone still isn't enough. That's where supplementation comes in. If you supplement, the form matters. Vitamin D3, not D2, is the bioactive form your body actually uses. D2 may show up on a label, but D3 is what your tissues recognize and respond to. Taken consistently, vitamin D support healthier blood vessel relaxation, improved nitric oxide signaling, better circulation quality, more responsive testosterone pathways. But circulation alone is not the full picture, because even with open blood blood vessels, your body still needs energy to sustain performance. And that brings us to vitamin number 2. If you feel tired even after a full night's sleep, if your thinking feels slower than it used to, if motivation fades faster than it should, I want you to hear this clearly. That is not laziness, and it is not just getting older. Very often, it's vitamin B12 deficiency. Vitamin B12 is essential for 3 critical systems: red blood cell formation, oxygen delivery, and nerve signaling. Without enough B12, your body struggles to convert food into usable energy. You may be eating well, you may be sleeping enough, but your cells still feel like they're running on empty. Here's the problem most men are never told. After the age of 50, stomach acid naturally declines. And without adequate stomach acid, B12 absorption drops sharply. That means you can eat meat, eggs, and dairy regularly and still be deficient. I've worked with men in their 70s who felt drained for years, mentally flat, physically tired, emotionally dulled, only to feel awake again within weeks of restoring proper B12 levels. This isn't a stimulant effect. It's your body finally getting the fuel it's been missing. So how does B12 affect intimacy? It improves oxygen delivery to tissues. It supports nerve sensitivity. It reduces fatigue and mental fog, and it improves stamina and endurance. When B12 is low, desire may still exist, but energy does not. Now here's where many men go wrong. The form matters. Most low-cost supplements use cyanocobalamin, a synthetic form your aging body struggles to convert. The form your cells recognize immediately is methylcobalamin. For some men, oral supplements are enough. For others, especially with advanced deficiency, injections may be necessary. But that decision should always be guided by proper testing and medical advice. Energy, however, still isn't the final piece, because even energized cells need protection and hormonal balance to function long-term. And that brings us to vitamin number 3. Vitamin E is often mislabeled. Some men think of it as a fertility vitamin. Others associate it with skin or cosmetic health. But for aging men, vitamin E plays a far more important role. It is one of the body's primary vascular protectors. As men age, oxidative stress builds quietly in the bloodstream. This oxidative damage stiffens arteries. It irritates the lining of blood vessels, and it interferes with hormone signaling. Vitamin E acts like a shield. It helps reduce oxidative stress. It protects the inner lining of blood vessels. It improves the quality of circulation, not just the amount. And it supports how testosterone functions at the tissue level. I once worked with a retired professional, disciplined, active, doing most things right, yet he felt flat, unmotivated, disconnected from his body. When we looked closely, his vitamin E intake was almost non-existent. Once restored through diet and proper supplementation, his energy stabilized, mood improved, and his hormonal markers became more responsive. Not because we forced anything, but because we removed silent interference. Natural sources of vitamin E include almond sunflower seeds, olive oil, spinach, and other leafy greens. If you supplement, this part matters. Avoid synthetic vitamin E, often listed as DL-alpha tocopherol. The form your body recognizes best is natural mixed tocopherols. Now, before we move on, I want to briefly mention something many men ask me for once they understand this connection. I've created a simple, practical guide called the All-in-One Men's Vitality and Intimacy Blueprint. It's designed specifically for men over 50 who want to rebuild circulation, energy, confidence, and intimacy naturally, using the same principles I teach in practice. You'll find the link in the description and pinned comment. If you want a clear next step beyond today's video, it's there for you. Now here's something most men miss. These vitamins don't work in isolation. Vitamin D helps blood vessels open. Vitamin B12 fuels oxygen delivery and nerve signaling. Vitamin E protects and stabilizes circulation while supporting hormone efficiency. Together, they function as a system. And when that system is supported properly, men often notice improvements in morning energy, mental clarity, physical responsiveness, and confidence. But there is one major mistake that quietly prevents men from seeing results, and it's the reason many give up too soon. Before we talk about how to build these nutrients into daily life, we need to address something important, because this is the single biggest reason most men never experience the benefit, even when they're taking supplements faithfully. The mistake is simple. Most men believe this: if I'm taking the vitamin, my body must be using it. Unfortunately, that's often not true. I can't tell you how many men I've met who arrive with bags full of supplements, taken for months, sometimes years, with no real improvement in energy, erections, or confidence. The issue is not effort. It's form, quality, and consistency. Mistake number 1, using the wrong form. Your body changes with age. Absorption slows. use, conversion becomes less efficient. That means certain vitamin forms simply don't work the way they once did. Vitamin D must be D3, not D2. Vitamin B12 must be methylcobalamin, not cyanocobalamin. Vitamin E should be natural mixed tocopherols, not synthetic isolate. Cheap supplements may meet a label requirement, but they don't meet your body's needs. Mistake number 2, inconsistent use. Taking supplements only when you remember doesn't rebuild systems. Circulation, hormones, and energy pathways respond to steady signals, not occasional ones. Your body thrives on rhythm. Consistency is what allows blood vessels to adapt, hormonal pathways to stabilize, and energy systems to recover. Mistake number 3, expecting instant results. These vitamins don't act like stimulants. They don't force performance. They restore function gradually, layer by layer. Most men notice improved energy within 2 to 4 weeks, better stamina within 4 to 6 weeks, stronger sexual responsiveness over 6 to 12 weeks. That isn't slow, that's real healing. Now let's put everything together into something practical and realistic, because most men tell me the same thing. Doc, I don't need complicated. I need something I can actually stick to. Most men tell me the same thing. Doc, I don't need extreme. I need something realistic. So let me show you what that actually looks like. Start your day simply. A full glass of water when you wake up. With breakfast, take vitamin B12, specifically in the methylcobalamin form. There's a reason I suggest taking it earlier in the day. B12 supports alertness, nerve signaling, and cellular energy. Taken in the morning, it helps fuel the day instead of interfering with sleep later on. If you can, step outside for 10 to 20 minutes of morning sunlight. This helps your body naturally produce vitamin D, regulate your circadian rhythm, and support mood and testosterone signaling. If sunlight isn't reliable where you live, taking vitamin D3 with your first meal is a solid alternative. As the day goes on, think about protecting circulation. This doesn't require anything complicated. Including a natural source of vitamin E with lunch can be as simple as a handful of almonds or sunflower seeds, olive oil over vegetables or salad, or leafy greens like spinach. Vitamin E works quietly in the background, protecting blood vessels and reducing inflammation that interferes with blood flow. In the evening, less is more. You don't need heavy supplementation at night. Instead, focus on a balanced dinner, staying hydrated, and limiting alcohol or excess sugar. This matters because your body restores hormones and repairs blood vessels while you sleep. You don't want to interfere with that process. This kind of routine isn't extreme. It's sustainable. And sustainability is what creates real, lasting change. When these nutrients are restored properly, men often tell me the same things, sometimes surprised, sometimes emotional. They notice waking up with more energy, clearer thinking, better mood and patience, renewed interest in intimacy, and more reliable physical response. Not because they forced anything, but because their body finally has what it needs. Before we wrap up, I want to address something a lot of viewers ask me: which natural supplements actually deliver results for men's health? After reviewing the research and seeing what works consistently in practice, I've narrowed it down to 4 essentials. 1 supports stronger erections, 1 helps with stamina and performance, 1 supports testosterone balance, and 1 focuses on prostate comfort. They're all natural, backed by science, and chosen to work together, not against each other. You'll find them linked below in the description and pinned comment if you want to explore them further. Now let me leave you with something important. This isn't about becoming younger. It's about becoming functional again, strong, present, confident. If you've ever wondered whether it's too late to feel like yourself again, let me be very clear. It's not. I've worked with men in their 60s, 70s, and even 80s who were told, "This is just how it is now." They believed it until their bodies proved otherwise. The decline most men accept is not inevitable. It's often nutritional, it's often silent, and it's often reversible. You don't need extreme programs. You don't need risky shortcuts. You need support, not punishment. If this video helped you understand your body better, if it gave you clarity or direction, tap like so this message reaches other men who need it. Subscribe for honest, science-based guidance on circulation, testosterone, prostate health, and longevity. And let me know in the comments your age, where you're watching from, or what topic you'd like me to cover next. This channel is a place where men support one another. You are not alone, you are not broken, and your best years are not behind you. I'm Dr. Aria Brooks. I'll see you in the next video.